the DIC analysis with the headspace method, first of all, we need to acid wash the excitaners for both of the samples and the standards. And for that we use nitric acid, 5 molar in strength, that we just dispense into the excitaners standing in a beaker. And then we just cover them and leave them standing overnight in a fume cupboard. Once the excitaners have been soaking overnight, we will just empty them and into a waste beaker, and this acid can be used a couple of times. Then we just rinse the excitaners with distilled water and place them in an oven to dry, and they are ready to be used for your samples or your standards. In the headspace method, the samples need to be acidified, and we do that by injecting some phosphoric acid to the excitaners before taking them to the field. So we pipette concentrated phosphoric acid to the sample excitaners, just 150 microliters. The final step in the sample excitainer preparation is to evacuate them on a vacuum line for 1 hour. Once the excitaners have been evacuated, they are ready for sampling. So here we are on a boat with our freshly collected river water sample. And first of all, I will rinse the syringe 3 times. Then I will connect the needle to the syringe and rinse the needle 3 times as well. Okay, so then we can connect the syringe and needle once again under the water. Then we bring the syringe up to inspect it for air bubbles, and if there is any air bubbles trapped in, they need to be guided out gently, because tapping could degas the sample. So in case of any major air bubbles, it's probably better to get a new sample. In this case we don't have air bubbles, so I'm now just adjusting it to 10 milliliters. Okay, we are now ready to inject our sample into one of our evacuated excitaners that has phosphoric acid in it. We do that underwater, holding the needle and syringe connections. And if the vacuum in the excitainer has helped, the sample should be automatically sucked in, and that can be used as a control for the vacuum. As you can see, the sample is slowly being sucked in. and I'm holding the excitator upside down in order to prevent any gas entering, so the gas will be at the bottom of the excitator. Once it has sucked in the whole sample, we remove the needle still underwater, holding the connections and the excitator upside down like this. Okay, this is our sample ready. We just need to shake it thoroughly, and then we'll store it upside down so that the gas is not in contact with the septum. And then we'll place the sample to be stored in cool temperature. For the preparation of the standards, we use 3 carbonates of known isotopic composition. Once we have calculated the weights required to produce suitable millimolar concentration ranges for our standards, we can start weighing out our standards. And in practice, the weights that we require are fractions of milligram, and therefore we are using these tiny weighing buckets. In the weighing procedure, first of all, we need to tear the bucket. So we just carefully place it here in the balance, close the door, tear it, and then we can start adding some standard. We keep on adding more standard and reweighing the bucket until we reach a weight suitable for our standard. Once we have a suitable weight, we can then very carefully dip the contents of the bucket into an excitator and tap it against the sides to make sure everything goes in. Then we reweigh the bucket. From the 2 weighings, we calculate the true weight that entered the excitator. For the standards as well, we do evacuate them for 1 hour the same way as the samples. For the preparation of the standards, the next step is to inject some acid. First of all, we boil this diluted phosphoric acid to get rid of any gases in it. And now we'll inject some into the excitators, but we need to be quite careful since it's quite hot. And first of all, we'll do the normal rinsings of the syringe and the needle. And when we are ready, we'll inject a sample. This time we can't do it underwater because everything is hot and is acid we are working with. We overfill it a little bit and inspect it with off air bubbles. And this time we have an air bubble, and we let it to guide it to the end of the syringe and gently just let it go to the tip of the syringe, and then we'll be able to get rid of it like that. And now we'll adjust the syringe to 10 mils. can inject it to our evacuated standard, holding the connections, and it will start sucking the solution in. And as gases are generated when the carbonate is dissolving, you often need to push the remainder of the solution into the standard. And again, we'll hold it upside down once we are removing the needle. And then we'll give it a good shake and store it upside down as the samples.